Welcome to Heidi Relationships. Today, we'll read some more stories from Reddit. But before we start, I would really appreciate if you could subscribe to the channel, like the video if you enjoyed it, and maybe leave a comment down below. That would help the channel a lot. Thank you very much in advance.
The first one is titled, My 32M. Best Friend, 34M. Helped a woman, 24F, cheat on the father of her child, 1F. My best friend of the last decade helped a girl cheat on the father of her 1-year-old daughter, and I'm having difficulty reconciling the person I knew with the person he's being. For the last decade I thought we were on the same page morally, ethically, etc. And he knows how much I hate cheating and associated actions. My own family was torn apart by cheating when my parents divorced. And yet here we are. He helped this girl cheat and is refusing to take any responsibility for his actions. Makes excuses at every turn. Best part is he rents a room from me in my condo. While I don't want to be a complete butthole and kick him out, I don't necessarily want to be around him anymore. Honestly, I have to have a buzz from alcohol before I can even tolerate his presence. I know it's probably overkill, but that's how much I hate cheating and how much I can't stand the people that participate in cheating. I don't know if the friendship is able to be salvaged, and I don't know if I want to salvage anything. A user in the comments said, "You seem so far removed from the actual situation that it shouldn't be as much of your problem as you're making it. It's the people you choose to be around in your home, so as long as you're legally in the right, move on. Maybe you can rekindle your friendship when your values align more." Another user said, "You don't need that kind of friend in your life. You guys are not on the same page morally and ethically. He is supporting someone who is cheating on the father of her child while the father works and provides for them. It's just wrong, and you should cut him out of your life. You don't need him or her. And expose both of them." The next one is titled, Update. My 32 meters. Best friend, 34 meters. Helped a woman, 24F, cheat on the father of her child, 1F. Update. So, I know not many people read the original post, but I figured I'd give an update anyway. After trying to talk to my friend through October and the beginning of November, I finally threw in the towel when he started being a dick on the first anniversary of my father's death. I kicked him out of my place and have had zero contact since. While it hurt to cut off a friendship that had lasted as long as ours did, ultimately I think it's for the best. It's been 26 days since my last drink and I'm feeling more confident every day. I've discovered other friends that have been quietly supporting me and realized they were better friends than my now former roommate. The next one is titled, Steal My Car, Wreck It, and Try to Lie so I'm held liable too? How about I tell the truth and you pay the whole bill? So, in previous version of my life, I was previously married and in a terrible relationship. I was married and with her for 6 years, and 5 of those were extremely physically and emotionally abusive for me. 3 stab wounds, and a wonderful diagnosis of general anxiety disorder. I was extremely unhealthy and underweight, 140 pounds at 6 feet tall, due to the fact she was an alcoholic, and all the money went towards bar tabs. Eventually she told me she wanted a divorce, and I couldn't change that. This sucked at first, but I realized slowly how abusive she was and that I wouldn't have to deal with this anymore. I finally left 2 days after she came home drunk and beat me extremely badly, and I asked for the keys to our car since the car was in my name, and I was going to leave. She told me she didn't know where the car was, and she wouldn't give me the keys to the car. I then called the cops to report the car stolen, and they said since she was listed on the vehicle I couldn't report it stolen. She essentially legally stole the car from me even though the plates and everything were in my name. So, I did the only thing I could do and cancelled the insurance and didn't renew the tags a month later when I needed to. I documented why I was doing this, which was the only way I could go about keeping her from using the car. She would be forced to register the car in her name at that point to get the plates registration to be active. She never did this, and 4 months after I cancelled everything she got into a car wreck and totaled the car and did $36,000 worth of damage to the guy's car. Since she didn't have insurance, she and I were held responsible to pay. Because I was listed as an owner, I was held liable. This all happened in 2013-2014. I found out in October 2016 that we were being sued by the car insurance company for $36,000. She also informed me at the time that she was pregnant with the guy she left me for and cheated on me with. She wrote in her response to the lawyer's lawsuit that we were separated, and she was 6 months pregnant without a job and her family was helping her with bills, completely irrelevant. She did this to try to make it out like I left her while she was pregnant, and she could afford this so I should have to. During all of this, we hired a lawyer for our divorce. What happened was she said she was getting a free consultation from the lawyer, so when I showed up she told him I was paying for everything since she didn't have a job and couldn't afford anything. I asked if she could commit to paying me back half, even if it takes her a year or longer. I was willing to wait till she got on her feet and had a job for her to pay me back, and every time she said no, I can't afford it. I wanted this to ducking end, so I pay for him, and he informs me that since this is the case, he is only representing me, and she is without a lawyer now. So, when I get served with the lawsuit, the lawyer agrees to help with this as well and drafts an official legal response to the accusations denying them outright. We said she stole the car from me. I attempted to report it stolen but the cops wouldn't do anything, and that 4 months after I cancelled everything and informed her of this, she wrecked the car, so we were not at fault. They then sent her a new questionnaire to respond to with 13 accusations against her that she had 3 weeks to reply to. She never did. So, 3 months ago they filed for motion of summary judgment. Basically, since she didn't respond, that was the equivalent of her admitting everything they accused her of. My lawyer then filed something, I'm not a lawyer so I have no idea what he filed, to dismiss me from the case since I filed and responded in a timely manner and provided everything they asked. It was my ex that never responded, and since that's the case she should be held responsible. Today, I got a letter from the lawyer of the car insurance that they were dropping only me from the lawsuit, and I was off the hook. My ex has a hearing on September 13th where they are going to rule against her, and she will be held responsible for all $36,000. Since my lawyer receives all documents that are filed as e-files, he gets them immediately. They must send her letter to her, so she doesn't even ducking know about this yet. September 21st, 2017. So, I was wrong on my original date of when the hearing was going to happen. I said it was the 13th, but it was actual the 19th. My bad, guys. So, after I received the call from my lawyer on August 24th, I received a call from my ex-wife, let's call her SC for stupid cow, the next day on Friday. SC immediately began yelling at me incoherently about what a piece of crap I was, how she couldn't believe how dickless I was, etc. etc. After her initial rant, I answered back, "Hi, SC, how is your day going?" This triggered second rant for how I need to grow up and how childish I was, yada yada. I ask her, "What's wrong, SC? Sounds like something bad has happened?" She then tells me that douchebag's baby's daddy, mom, had found the letter and had now kicked her out of the house. Small backstory. SC cheated on me with douchebag, left me for him, got knocked up, lost her job, and now lives with his parents and is financially supported 100% by his parents. She has also up to that day called her mother-in-law. She also told me that she was having to stay with her mom now and she lost her kid because of me. Apparently the ex-mill kicked her out, told her douchebag was keeping the kid and she was no longer welcome to be at their house. I ended the phone call by saying, "Doesn't it suck that an independent judge and a team of attorneys heard both sides of our story and knew how much of a piece of crap you are and sided with me? There's no manager you can call to witch at, you just have to live with this knowledge for the rest of your life. Have a nice life, you trashy cow. I hope you get ducked over hard by them." Click. Blocked her number and thought that was that. But no, I get a call on Monday from douchebag. I've had the same phone number for 10 years now and he had it from when me and SC were married. He was her high school friend, asking in a panic if I had heard from SC. I told him I talked to her on Friday after his mom kicked her out and she called to witch at me, but I blocked her after and hadn't heard from her. He then tells me that the cant gets a hold of her, and she had come and kidnapped their baby, and he had no idea where she was, and as a last-ditch effort, decided to call me in hopes I might know something. I told him that she had said she was staying with her mom now, and he said they had been no contact with her the entire time they were together, so he had no idea where she was. Plus, she didn't have a job right now, so he had no clue where she might be living. Immediately, I know exactly where she is. I asked him if he knew where her grandmother lived. If her mom lost her job, nobody was going to roommate with her except her mom. He has never met the grandmother, also no contact cause she is a huge cow. I got crazy stories of that witch, and also doesn't know where she is. I told him I know exactly where she lives, and if he gives me a second I can Google map her address, don't remember it exactly. After a minute of searching, I have the address. I let him know what it is and tell him to give me a call if she's not there and we can brainstorm where else she could be. Dude is truly a douchebag, but even douchebags need help. I'm not going to duck a child over my hate for its parents. About 2 hours later, he calls me back and tells me the cops rolled up to the grandmother's apartment, and SC was ducking feeding the baby on the balcony. She got arrested, and douchebag and his parents went and picked up his son and now have him back in their possession. I told douchebag I was happy everything worked out, but I didn't want to ever hear from him again. He said he understood, and I haven't heard from him since. SC is now in jail, along with her mom for driving her to kidnap the child. Her mom actually admitted this to the police while defending SC's actions, saying it was wrong to take her child from her, and she was doing what was right. Lol, ducking idiot. So, on the 19th, my lawyer attended the hearing, just to make sure nothing happened to me. SC did not show since she is in jail. She got to call in from jail on the phone. They ruled against her 100%. She now has to pay $36,000 on her own. Her and her mom have no jobs except being Scentsy saleswomen, and she's in jail for God knows how long. The next one is titled, My Fiancé, 30F, and I, 36 meters, are having serious issues after her sister interfered with my family's issues. My fiancé and I have been together 3.5 years, engaged for 18 months and getting married in May. I thought things were wonderful, but we have hit a major problem. I work in the shipping industry and was away from home for the majority of this. Sorry for the long post, got a lot of background that led to this. A little background, my sister and fiancé were best friends through our relationship. I'm very close with my sister and my parents. My fiancé is very close with her sister, and we thought of everyone as our own families. Recently this last year, my sister left her mentally abusive husband for another guy. Her new guy has a bad past and criminal record, and rightfully so, everyone is skeptical of the guy. But my sister's relationship with her new boyfriend is a whole other thing, that I'm not gonna get into, not my business as long as she is safe and happy. Since she has been with this new guy, my fiancé has been very vocal about her opinion of him, that he is a criminal. This has put a strain on their friendship, of course. A little over 3 weeks ago, while going over wedding planning, my fiancé told me she did not want my sister's boyfriend at any of our wedding festivities. She said she was going to approach my sister about it. A few days later, she was afraid to and asked me to confront her about this. I told her I would handle it. Knowing this request would hurt my sister's feelings, I asked my mom for advice on how to handle the situation and how best to approach my sister about this. My mother became upset over it and was afraid that if I asked my sister this it would hurt my relationship with my sister. I knew it would hurt feelings, but I wanted to try and find a compromise somewhere in all this. After the conversation with my mom, I told my fiancé how it went, and that it upset my mom. I wanted to give everyone time to cool off, as we still have 3 months till wedding date. I asked my fiancé please be patient as this was not an easy subject to approach. My fiancé was none too happy about my mom's reaction and was upset as well. Later that night, my fiancé and her sister had a long FaceTime call and vented to her about her frustrations. This becomes a problem later. A few days pass, unbeknownst to me, my mom had a chat with my sister and agreed to not bring her boyfriend. At this point, they hadn't told either my fiancé or I about it. Then my sister's ex-husband receives an anonymous message on Facebook telling him how my sister cheated on him and left him for a criminal. It was full of half-truths and assumptions, and coincidentally the few truths it included were things my sister had only ever told two people, my mom and my fiancé. Once the ex-husband told me about the message, crap hit the fan. Next day, I was unaware of the anonymous message, until my fiancé told me she had to tell me something. She told me that her sister sent an anonymous message to my sister's ex-husband telling him what she thought was the truth. Fiancé says she only vented to her sister and that her sister took it upon herself to tell the ex-husband. The message included things that were only told to my mom and fiancé, so of course number one suspect was my fiancé as the culprit of the message, but no one thought she was capable of this. I told my fiancé it would be best if her sister confessed and cleared finance's name. She was upset over it all but agreed and talked to her sister. The next morning, I awoke to a crapstorm of a group text. Fiancé's sister confessed in a group chat including myself, fiancé, my sister and my mother. She confessed and explained herself, and as you can expect there were a few heated words at first, but it seemed like things were being cleared up. That was until my fiancé decided that was a good idea to get drunk and tell everyone off. Well then it became just my fiancé telling my mom and my sister how horrible they are in this whole ordeal and how much my fiancé hated my sister's boyfriend. It went on for a couple hours of texts. I woke up the next morning to find out about all this. At first I was confused and upset trying to figure out what happened and trying to keep peace between my family and fiancé. She thinks I took my family's side and not her side, when I was on her side until she had the drunken outburst. My fiancé even so much as laughed about my family being upset. This was 2 weeks ago, to the day. Over the next week we didn't talk much. A few heated words, but we agreed to give it time to cool off and try to approach this level-headed. After a week, unknown to me, my mom came by to try and talk with my fiancé over things. Fiancé was in driveway leaving for work when my mom came by and told her she couldn't talk right then. Later that night, fiancé sent an angry barrage of texts to my mom blaming my mom for everything. I have a sneaking suspicion that fiancé was drunk again during this. As I work on ships, I was out of town. I had gotten off work early specifically to come home and work things out, as it's difficult to do these things while away for so long. This was 11 days after the anonymous message, and I was at the airport on my way home. At this point, I thought things were calming down, and we might be able to talk it out calmly. I received several texts from fiancé about how she refused to pick me up at the airport and wanted to stay in the guest bedroom when I got home. My parents ended up picking me up at the airport. That was when I found out about the angry texts fiancé had sent my mom the night before. I arrived home and had a sit-down chat with fiancé finally 3 days ago. From what she says, she has no regret and refuses to apologize for the way she acted. She sincerely thinks that her sister was right in sending the anonymous message. We both agreed to stop talking about it for the day, before one of us gets too upset and prevent it from turning into a yelling match. It's been 3 days, and we've hardly spoken to each other in the house. Myself, I can't stand by and let someone intentionally hurt my family. I have talked with my family about it. They are willing to give fiancé another chance on my behalf. My fiancé says she refuses to be anywhere near my family and thinks I have chosen their side, while I've been trying to keep peace between everyone. A user in the comments said, "There was never going to be a good reason for your sil to stir up drama with your sister's abusive ex-husband. Sorry, but your fiancé is more concerned with being right than doing right. This is not a good trait in a life partner." Another user said, "Halt the wedding planning. You both need more time to come together or break up. Your fiancé disrespected you and your family. Gossiping and creating drama rather than letting you do what you both agreed to do. She is refusing to see what damage her actions did. She will drive a wedge between you and your family and then it will carry over between the two of you." The next one is titled, "Update, my fiancé, 30F, and I, 36 meters, are having serious issues after her sister interfered with my family's issues. I broke up with my fiancé almost 2 weeks ago, and when we sat down to talk, she was still adamant that what her sister did was the right thing and didn't care that it hurt my family. She didn't apologize, showed no remorse or any sort of sign that she would be willing to work with me on this. This left me with no choice but to break up with her. The first couple days were quiet, a lot of crying and sleeping in different rooms, no arguing or fighting. Then she went to stay at a friend's house 2 days later, and that is when things got bad. She would purposely come back to the house only when I wasn't there and bring her sister with her. Took a few more things from the house than we agreed upon, and her sister decided my couch was a great place to change a dirty diaper for her baby, including leaving a leaking dirty diaper on the couch for me to find. Then the next few days started a smear campaign on social media and lies told to friends. Myself, I've stayed quiet on the social media regarding the breakup and keeping my distance, trying to let things cool down. I have now blocked my now ex-fiancé on every platform, including emails, as it was nothing but her trying to drag me into an argument that would go nowhere. This is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed the relationship stories. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video and write a comment. I really appreciate your support and it helps my channel so much. Thank you.